Let me ask you, as someone who's worked in communications for such a long time, how can communication move finance? How can finance move communication? And what role does science have to take in all of this?
We have the solutions, we have the will. 89% of all the people on this planet support strongly climate action, but we don't get strong climate action. Why? Because there is some powerful interest out there trying to stop us. And we need to call that out. And you were saying that you were very positive that finally people in business get that the climate crisis are happening. That's true, but I will take it a step further. Because of the Orange Man in the White House, finally people realize that we are under attack. This is not about recycling. Or as it says in the bathroom of the hotel building in Hilton, you don't need a cape to save the world, you just need to reuse the towel. Bullshit. We need to be noisy, we need communication, we need to step up, and we need to address the fact that currently there are leaders out there burning up climate satellites, closing science observatory in order to continue to burn oil. But burning oil is not profitable in many cases anymore, at least not burning coal. So just an example, in the United States, the government are now changing the rules so that public money needs to pay to keep coal power plants online. And how can communication change finance? Here's the great part. We need money to communicate, but we also need to communicate in order to move the money from the problem to the solutions. And I have a perfect example where we have been on time actually did something that was very concrete. In Sweden, half of the population, they are saving their money in a state-owned pension fund. If you don't do a choice, you end up in saving your salary for your pension in something called AD7. 5 million citizens are saving their pension money as a sort of money. And it happened to be so that they have this incredible sustainability policy, blah, blah, blah. So how come that they were the largest, one of the top 10 investors in Saudi Aramco, the oil company that was very much trying to, cancel the COP meeting in Dubai? How come Sweden did that? And as a communication platform, we invited the Senator of Dialogue. We had a 1-hour dialogue with their head of sustainability here.
Have you done as much as possible as an owner in Saudi Aramco Oil in the 4 years since you first invested in them?
Well, as I told you, we're prioritizing our efforts, and it has not been on that type of conventional oil.
Okay, so you have been a passive owner more than an active.
No, we're part of a collaborative initiative, which is one of the steps, and the final step is blacklisting.
I worked in the finance industry for 20 years before I founded People Time, so I know documents. It was not a shaming conversation, it's a true conversation. How come you have this high ambition? Why are you investing your money in a company that is 99% influenced by the Saudi state, and that they want to do their own? So they were very happy with this. They actually shared it to themselves, all the employees in the organization. But we shared it as well to all the world media, so we got like 10 financial news outlets that wrote about this story. 3 months later, they sold all their belongings in Saudi Aramco. So communication can change things. And it's super important, but it's one catch. We can't communicate for free. We need resources. And the other side, they have endless resources. They're also using those resources to communicate the agenda, to cancel science, the agenda to make the green transition stop. They have tons of money they're using in that. Think tanks, oil think tanks, Project 2025 is all kinds of things out there. They even buy big communication platforms in order to change that way and push their narrative. And the green transition, we in this group, we don't have that because we don't have the money. So we need to funnel money in communication. And when we communicate and get people to realize that this is not about changing lifestyle and feel ashamed if they don't succeed. This is about a big cake that is a corrupt system, and we need to step up for that. And we need to make noise. It's time to stop being green and nice and polite and stand up and be red, a little bit provocative like me. But in order to really get people to hear this message, we need money funneled into it. So money funneled into communication is the best investment we can do. Maybe not for the world, but for the future of mankind.
Thank you so much.